Hi, my name is Dee Dee Rand. I was an 8th grade English teacher. This vlog is about not the English lessons that I taught, but it's about the life lessons that I taught in my classroom. I have hundreds of letters from students letting me know what they thought of these lessons and how important they were and the big impact that they made on their life, on their decisions, on their goals. So if you haven't seen season 1 or season 2, please check them out. And today we're going to go on to season 3. The thing about these lessons is that it sounds like it just happened that day every time I tell them, but some of these lessons might have been years old, but I learned what the kids wanted, and so I repeated them. And I took the information I got from each year that I taught it, and then incorporated it to make the lesson even more powerful. So today's lesson is called How Do You Live Your Life When You Don't Think Anyone Is Watching? Class, I don't know about you, but I didn't have a very fun weekend, at least not Saturday. Saturday wasn't any fun. I had to go to traffic school. Eyes wide open. Boy, were they paying attention. Yeah, I was going 51 in a 40, and so I didn't even see the lights flash or anything. I didn't even know about it, that I had gotten it, but I was rushing to the hospital when my daughter was in the emergency room. And you can go 10 miles over. So I was in a 40. I could go 50 and not get the ticket, but I went 51. So then when I opened that up and read that, I went, for 1 mile, I'm getting a ticket, oh my gosh, for 1 mile. Then I realized, when I really was honest with myself, I wasn't going 1 mile over the speed limit. I was going 11. And just because I'm having a difficult time and worrying about my daughter does not give me the opportunity to risk everybody else's life on the road. I had to take responsibility. So I figured out what you do. You go down to City Hall and you stand in line. And there was a long line and everybody was standing in front of me. We are talking to a man behind a glass and he's showing everybody their pictures from the flash. Every single person, when the man said, "Is this you?" in the picture, every single person, every single one said, no, it wasn't them. You have 3 choices. Go in front of a judge and plead your case and say you were innocent and hope the judge will let you off the hook. I was speeding, fat chance of that. You can pay the ticket, but then you get points, and points are what count when you're trying to figure out how much you owe for your car insurance. They count your points. Or you can go to traffic school, you pay for that, and then you're done. You went to traffic school, you said you did it, you admitted your mistake, went to traffic school, and you didn't have to do anything. You're done. No points. Of course, you pay for traffic school. So I was listening. As I was listening, they finally got to the man in front of me who had a picture. The man was showing him of a big truck. And he said, "Is this you in the picture?" And the man said, "No." And he said, "Well, is this your truck?" And he said, "Yes." "Well, do you know who's driving your truck?" "No." And the man says, "So somebody took your truck for a joyride that you don't know and brought it back to you?" Doesn't that sound so suspicious? Well, he said no. So I don't know what everybody decided to do, if they were going to fight it or pay it. I don't really know it. I wasn't listening to that part. But when it got to me and I was up there, I looked. I was wearing a baseball cap when I was standing in front of him, and I looked at my little face peering over the steering wheel. Didn't have a baseball cap, and I went, maybe that's not. Yes, that's me, and I will go to traffic school. So that's what I did on Saturday. I had to go to traffic school and sit there. And I actually didn't mind it because I had a lot of the old rules of the road reinstated to me, told to me again that I might have forgotten from years ago. And so I really didn't mind it. I deserved to be there because I was speeding and I was risking everybody's life on the road. Any comments or questions? Miss Rand, you don't have to pay that. My mom never pays those tickets. She just throws them away. My dad says that they can't do anything about it. They can't come after you. It's illegal to take your picture like that. They can't do anything about it. They have to hand you the ticket in your hand. So you didn't have to pay it. My dad just rips them up. And as each comment was coming at me like that, I said, but I deserve the ticket. I was speeding, and I need to take responsibility. I mean, maybe I could throw it away. Maybe they wouldn't come after me. But you know what? I had to admit my responsibility for my actions. And I was speeding, and I was guilty. So I needed to just take my punishment, and that's it. Now, you never know. This went on. I mean, the kids had a lot of comments. Most of them were following in that pattern. But you never know how it affects kids. Some kids don't speak in class about how they're thinking, what they're thinking about. That was on a Friday. On Monday, I get to school bright and early, and one of my young ladies was standing at my door. And she said, Miss Rand, I have to tell you what happened over the weekend. So she came in, and we're talking, and she said, my mom and my sister and some of her friends and I went to Barnes & Noble, and we were in the cafe. I went into the cafe, and I got my Frappuccino, and I came back, and I said to my mom, Mom, they were so busy up there that the girl forgot to ring this up. I didn't pay for this drink. Do you know where I'm going with this? So the sister says, go get me one. Go get us all another one. And she said, but I looked at my mom and I said, I know I didn't pay. So I have to go back up there now and pay for my drink. I'll be right back. I said to her, you know, I'm never going to worry about you because I know that you're always going to make the right decision. You know how to, you didn't need anyone to tell you it was wrong. You knew, and you knew to take responsibility. And I commend you so much for making that decision. And I said, do you mind if I tell this story to my other classes? No, she was very proud, actually. So I told that story to all of my classes, and there was a lot of commentary, but you know, you never know what the kids are actually thinking. But they are thinking. So I said, by the way, I forgot to tell you another part to my story. Well, I don't know, maybe you'll make a connection. But I forgot to tell you this other story of what happened to me while I was going through this whole ticket thing. I went to my front door, and there was a big box, sitting on the porch from my front door. And I looked at it, and it was one of those, the picture on the box was one of those gorgeous KitchenAid mixers. You know how pretty they are? They come in all these pretty colors, aqua, red, yellow, white, stainless. It was a gorgeous mixer. I always wanted one, but I didn't order it. So I looked at the box, and it was a Mr. Thomas something. So I thought, well, it was delivered from UPS, so they'll be back. They'll realize they made a mistake and dropped it off at the wrong house. So they'll be back. And I just left it there. Well, it was still there like 3 days later, and it was threatening rain. I thought, well, the box is going to get soaked. So I'll just bring it in the house, and I'll try to find this person. Tell them to come and get their mixer. So I went on Facebook, I went on Google, and this is the problem. I couldn't find the person by their name, and the address does not exist that was printed on the box. Someone had put down the wrong address that doesn't even exist. So there was no way they dropped it off at my house because it was close to that address. Well, I can't find the person. It comes from Kohl's. So I guess I'll just bring it back to Kohl's. Tell them I didn't order this and get it to the right person. It's very heavy. Those things have a very heavy motor. It's very heavy. It was very hard for me to carry down the stairs. When I got to Kohl's, I went and got a cart. And I put the mixer in the cart and walked it into customer service. And I told the lady, customer service, exactly what I just got done telling you. Everything, all the details. How, I don't know how this got here. I don't know who this person is. I can't find him on, there's the address. There's no address like this. So the lady's looking at me and she said, well, is this on your credit card? And I said, no, I didn't order it. It's not on my credit card. Well, then just keep it. What? Just keep it. Well, thank you very much. I always wanted one of these. You're like Santa Claus today. Put the mixer in my cart, and I walked out the door. As I was walking out the door, the beeper was going off, and I just took out the paperwork from the packing slip and how I had gotten the information. Just waved the paper, and out the door I went. And that mixer is now on my kitchen counter, and I have used it to make many cakes and breads. And every time I look at that mixer, I never have to think, I didn't order that. Someone else did. Someone else paid, and I have that mixer now. Now, what am I going to do? I mean, that was not a good story to tell. I'd much rather tell it this way. Isn't that funny how I got this mixer? I just had some integrity and some honesty. I didn't want to, no one knew, no one would know. It could just be my mixer. But I knew if I was doing the wrong thing or the right thing. So, let's see how it affects my students. Here's a letter. They had to actually write this for another class. The leader in my life. When thinking of someone in my life who does good things for others, I thought of my language arts teacher, Miss Rand. She is so inspirational when she gives her speeches. She tells us stories about how bad drugs are and gives us moving talks about our future. She is an amazing teacher and a great motivational speaker. She really cares about her students and their safety and well-being. Miss Rand is very funny and caring. She talks to us about everything, from what's going on in the news to her childhood and to how we act when no one is watching us. When she gave us a speech about how we act when no one is watching, it really made all the students in the class think about how they do act during their lives at home or hanging out with friends. She gave us examples and shared stories. When Miss Rand talks to us, she is very sincere about whatever she believes in. Miss Rand is a great person and has inspired me to give speeches to others. I have shared many of them with my family when I got home from school. I look up to Miss Rand a lot because she does what she believes is right. I have a lot of respect for that. What happens in Rand's class should not stay in Rand's class. This is exactly what I want. Now, sometimes we do some really good things and we think if we tell people we did something really good, like what I'm telling you today, how I made my decisions, you could think it's bragging. I'm not bragging. I'm trying to motivate. And that's what this person did. They were motivating people to do the right thing, to really think about how they're living their life. And are they trying to get away with something? Or are they doing something so good that if they share their good story about what they did when no one knew, that now they have inspired someone else to do something good? So, thank you so much for listening to My Yellow Raincoat, Season 3. If you haven't watched Season 1 or Season 2, please watch those. And let me know what you think, and stay tuned for Season 4. Thanks a lot.